The laugh hit me like a slap, sharp, intimate, familiar. I froze mid-step, the tray of champagne glasses trembling in my hands. That laugh. I'd heard it 1,000 times across pillow talk and lazy Sunday mornings, soft against my ear like a secret. But now here it was again, too close, too comfortable, and it wasn't meant for me. Across the room, under the low amber glow of the restaurant's private event lights, Jenna tilted her head, that same half-smirk playing on her lips. She was leaning in toward Ethan, my best friend since college. His hand brushed her wrist as he whispered something, and she threw back her head and laughed again. The world went oddly quiet, muffled by the pounding in my ears. I set the tray down before I dropped it. It was supposed to be a night of celebration, Ethan's promotion, the kind of moment we'd all promised to toast together. I'd even convinced Jenna to come, despite her claiming she'd had a long week. I thought she was tired. I thought she was loyal. When she caught me looking, she smiled. A perfect practice smile that said you're imagining things. But my stomach had already turned cold. Later, as laughter and clinking glasses filled the space, I watched from the corner. Every touch between them looked innocent to anyone else. But I saw the small things. How her gaze lingered a fraction too long. How he leaned in when she spoke. How, when someone made a joke, she reached out instinctively, not for me but for him. The noise of the party became a dull hum as my thoughts spiraled. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe I'm paranoid. After all, Ethan was my best friend. Jenna had never given me a reason not to trust her. Except lately, she'd started guarding her phone like it contained nuclear codes. She'd been working late, though her perfume always carried traces of a cologne that wasn't mine. I'd been pushing the thoughts down for weeks, refusing to connect the dots. But tonight, under the soft light and the weight of their laughter, denial started to crumble. Ethan clapped a hand on my shoulder. "Hey man," he said, his grin wide, genuine, or maybe expertly rehearsed. "You good?" "Yeah," I said, forcing a smile. "Just tired." Jenna slipped an arm through mine, the scent of her floral perfume suddenly suffocating. "You're quiet tonight," she said. "Just watching," I replied, meeting her eyes. Something flickered in her expression. Guilt, maybe, or fear. But it vanished so quickly I almost doubted it. She kissed my cheek lightly. "You're overthinking again," she whispered and turned back to the group. Her touch burned. By the time the night ended, I had a plan, quiet, simple, and cruel in its precision. I waited until everyone had left. Then, as we were walking to the car, I said, "You left your phone on the table." She frowned, patting her bag. "No, I didn't." "Yes, you did," I said calmly, holding it up. The screen glowed faintly, a new message flashing across. "Can't stop thinking about tonight. You looked incredible." Her breath caught. "It's not." I didn't let her finish. "Not what it looks like." My voice stayed steady but my hands shook. "Go on. Say it. Convince me." She opened her mouth, then closed it again. And that silence told me everything. Inside the car, the air was thick and brittle. Rain started tapping on the windshield, steady and cold. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she said finally, her voice breaking. "It was stupid. One time. A mistake." I laughed low and hollow. "A mistake." I turned to face her. "You don't accidentally end up in bed with my best friend, Jenna." She flinched. "It wasn't about you," she whispered. I felt invisible lately. You've been so distant, so wrapped up in your own world." Her words hit deeper than I wanted to admit. I had been distant, lost in work, numbing myself in routine. Maybe I'd missed the signs because I didn't want to see them. Still, anger surged up, raw and unstoppable. "So you fixed that by sleeping with the one person I trusted most?" Tears welled in her eyes. "I'm sorry." But sorry was too small a word for the crater she'd carved through everything we'd built. Days passed in a blur of silence. Ethan tried calling. I ignored him. When he showed up at my apartment, I didn't let him in. Through the door, his voice trembled. "It just happened, man. We didn't plan it." I laughed bitterly. "You didn't plan to betray me, but you sure managed to follow through." He sighed. "You can hate me all you want, but she still loves you." That line, "she still loves you," broke something inside me. Because love wasn't supposed to look like this. Secrecy, guilt, and shared glances behind my back. A week later, I agreed to meet them both at the cafe where we used to hang out. They sat side by side, looking small, remorseful, rehearsed. I listened as they spoke, apologies, explanations, promises to do better. Words meant to soften the blow, to ease their own guilt. When they finished, I smiled. Calm. Cold. You know, I said. For weeks I thought I was losing my mind. Every little thing, every late night, every secret smile, I convinced myself I was paranoid. I leaned in slightly, but turns out I was just catching up to the truth. Jenna's eyes glistened. Please, can we just move on from this? I stood, pushing my chair back slowly. The cafe went quiet. You already did, I said. You both moved on. Together. Then I dropped my phone on the table. The screen lit up, recording app still running. Their faces drained of color. Around us, murmurs began to ripple through the other tables. That, I said softly, was for closure. I turned and walked out, the sound of their panic fading behind me, replaced by something colder, relief. Outside, the rain had stopped. The air smelled of wet pavement and betrayal. For the first time in weeks, I felt weightless, wrecked, hollow but free. Some betrayals burn everything down. Mine just burned away the lies. And as I walked into the night, one truth settled in my chest, steady and clean. Sometimes the most savage comeback isn't rage. It's walking away and letting the silence speak louder than love ever could.